Yeah. Welcome to the Shooter's Room, made by the fans for the fans.
So my name is Tatyanna Pogonza-Dumas, but in the industry I'm known as Tatyanna Dumas. I'm 21 years old and counting. First time I started playing basketball was when I was 9, and by chance, growing up in a neighborhood like Redford 10 years ago wasn't the greatest, so my mom did a great job in finding something that would be able to keep me out of trouble and as well as, keep me fit and healthy like that. So basketball was the first sport I tried. No experience in any form of sports and just kind of picked it up like that. So what do you love about the game? Oof. Okay. For me personally, it's probably the physicality of the game. Absolutely. Like my number one love for the game is the physicality, where you're able to, for most sports, you can't go in and you can't be physical and you can't, have a bit of ego and all this stuff. That's what makes basketball so different. It's just, you can go in, you can play hard, and you can show how passionate you are and be physical at the same time. So if I was to put physicality aside, about what I love about the game is probably, but then working with teammates and having all that type of stuff is kind of, yeah. Some years have passed now. Are you still involved with the game? Heavily. Now, more than ever, it's probably I'm more involved now. I coach kids and I play myself, and then on top I'm trying to go international, which is the platform that I'm choosing to take. At the moment, I've been forced into going pro for Euro, a sports model. So they decided to strip my scholarship, which is part of NCAA rulings clearly, and that's absolutely fine. So I've gone overseas and now free agent for the European League. And I guess I'm fully into the game now, and just more, now that I'm older, I can do more things with the game and I can take it overseas and I can take my programs over there and help kids and, I guess build up that community from here over there and just kind of build a bigger network. So yeah, I guess for me personally, I'm more involved now that I'm older in the game, and I don't see it leaving anytime soon for me personally. Tell us about the impressive celebrity portfolio you're building. Celebrity. Okay. So at the moment, with regards to my portfolio, I've done a variety of brands, just kind of getting my name out there and just, I guess, using my basketball abilities to be able to get me onto those platforms and I guess work with what I've got. So in the industry, I'm known as African-American fitness girl that can play basketball, which kind of helps as well, because then when they're looking for that kind of, that briefing, then I fit perfectly into that. And I'm able to leverage those platforms to get me into a spotlight for different things. I'm also doing acting, and then the modeling helps with that. And you're able to have an idea of this, the idea of the expectation in both those industries. So with that platform, I guess I'm kind of building my way up into building international platform. And although I've gone international with a few of my commercials and everything like that, I want to be recognized over there. So I guess for what I'm building, it's kind of under wraps at the moment. I'm kind of working towards that international status, and through doing these commercials and everything like that, it kind of works with it, and there's small stepping stones to where I want to get. So I guess it's under wraps right now. Name the brands you've worked with and how it was on set. Okay, so to name a few brands, Gatorade's a big one, Canon Australia, Centrum, New by Kotex, Buns, just to name a few, Rebel Sport even. And what's it like on set? Being on set's one of those things where you have to be there to understand how it feels. For me personally, I love being on set. I love being in front of a camera, and I guess it's also the networking part of being on set that's my favorite. You find out a lot of things about different people in the industry and their experiences and where they go with all that, with their career and everything like that, and it just makes it such a good learning experience. And when you're on set, for the most part. It's kind of more of a performance thing. It's really focused on you and it's really zoned in, and I guess you have to perform to a level as though you would in a basketball game, you know, high intensity, and you know, it's very demanding, which is fun for me personally. I like the pressure, and I like the fact that there's an expectation. But being on set, for some people, they don't enjoy it. For me personally, I do, you know, because all the lights and the cameras and, you know, the cues and everyone expecting a certain level of you, which some people just find overwhelming. So being on set is one of those things, you know, you've got to personally be on set to understand. But when you're on set, I think you just gotta understand there's a level of expectation and professionalism. So yeah, if you had to give advice to the younger ballers, what would it be? One thing I like to tell my younger ballers is it starts with I can, not I cannot. And the reason for that is because in society there's a lot of people telling you you can't do something. And if you put aside, you know, the expectations of others in a negative way, you know, they expect you to fail, or they expect you to do it this certain way, which isn't up to par, then, you know, you're able to fully focus and zone in on yourself and like raise the expectation for yourself and achieve everything that you set for yourself, not allow like other people's opinions and everything like that hinder you from getting to where you need to get. So for me personally, it starts with I can. Regardless of whether you are able to do it at the time, there's always yet. So never start with I can't. Like a lot of my kids say, oh, I cannot, like, I can't do this, or I cannot, like, no, that to me doesn't exist. We will do push-ups for that, like, just doesn't exist. I call it the C word, but, you know, I personally believe if you work hard for something or you believe in something to a high degree, you know, you can achieve it regardless of what it is. So it starts with I can, not I cannot. You're very vocal about the Black Lives Matter movement. Describe one thing you... You're very vocal about the Black Lives Matter movement. Describe one thing how you make things better. I think personally, I think I make it better in a sense that I use my platform and my image to educate people about why this is so important, especially, you know, for people that don't exactly understand, and that's absolutely fine. But you have to keep in mind the reason why this is such a big issue is because it's over 400 years of repression. You know, even till this day, there is still, you know, times where I walk through a street and, you know, people look at you in a certain way, or people say things and it's kind of like we're in 2020. Or I might be with, you know, a Caucasian friend of mine, or, you know, my Caucasian partner, and people will look at us as though we're not supposed to be together, or it's odd. It's like history repeating itself. So for me personally, I like to educate. I don't like to degrade in a sense that, like, I don't like to degrade and say, oh, you're ignorant for, you know, choosing to believe this or say this. Or I like to educate you and why it's important, and I like to show you either, you know, through either, whether it be through my fitness platform or my modeling or whatever it may be, I want to educate you and give you a level of understanding of why this is so important and why things need to change. And because me personally, I don't, you know, they say you shouldn't say you don't see color. Now I understand when people say that, it's like, okay, what they're trying to really say is they see you for the person that you are, and your color isn't an issue, which for me personally is how I see it. I don't see that there is an issue to that, but what I do have an issue with is people choosing to repeat history itself, or choosing not to be open-minded, or people, like, think about it, people go home and the color of my skin irritates you. That to me is absolutely absurd. To me, it's, you will sit there and you will feel a certain way about the color of my skin for whatever your reason may be. So for me personally, I like to use my social media as a way to educate. In person, I like to educate as well, you know, one-on-one, and you can have your own argument, that's absolutely fine. But I'm still going to give you like my perspective in being an African American female on what it's like to live in society today. And I'm hoping that you will, I guess, take it in and have, you know, be open-minded as to why things need to change. So yeah, social media is a good one, I personally feel. What does the future hold for your superstar celebrity career? Hold for you? Will basketball still be in the picture? Celebrity superstar. Anywho, I have like a lot of goals that I have a lot of goals in mind. Basketball will always be in the picture for me personally. It just, for me personally, it's more than just a game. It built up the person that I am to a degree, with regards to handling situations, not only in the game, but outside as well. So it built a form of resilience in the game, but it also did that for me outside. You know, it built, I guess, a form of patience as well, because you have to be patient in the game to be successful. You have to wait for a certain play, or you have to, you know, wait for certain things to happen in a game, and that kind of helped me on the outside too. So basketball will always be a part of my life. But what it holds, well, personally, I'd like to get a lead role in a movie. I'd like to start my own like fashion brand. I'd like to, you know, take my coaching overseas and, you know, coach and educate kids about basketball overseas. I'd like to build my fitness brand, of course. Big thing of mine. I like to entertain, so that's another thing. And I guess over time, when everything's set up and I'm kind of building my portfolio, I want to, you know, create my own basketball stadium even, and then help other female athletes get to a certain level in their career and develop them. Because I went to Australian College of Sport and here in Australia, and I was the only female for like a year or two. And although the coaching was great and I absolutely loved the experience, it wasn't designed around me being a female basketball player. So what I want to do eventually is, you know, design a basketball stadium and have programs for women that we can focus on them being female athletes and develop their game to a level, you know, where they're able to take it to the WNBA or wherever they may want to go, WNBA, WNBL, you know, EuroLeague, whatever it may be, and just kind of, you know, focus on them. And yeah, I guess there's so many things that I want to do, and it's just one step at a time, and just gotta build that portfolio slowly, and then we'll get